how everything is resting in him, right? And he gives an example of the sky, of the space, and that the space contains the wind, because the wind is very powerful, big. Also of all the demigods, the Vayu is the strongest, is said. We know this because Bhima is his son, right? And from the Pandavas, all the Pandavas have demigod fathers, but Bhima is the strongest. So the wind is very strong, right? The wind can move huge clouds. And you think, oh, clouds are not heavy or just clouds, but clouds contain gigantic amount of water. And water is very heavy. So they can move gigantic amounts of water actually. So wind is very powerful. But even though being so powerful, he is a little thing inside the sky. Right? In comparison to the sky, the space, the wind is very small. So this is what Krishna says here. That all the living entities who are huge, there are so many living entities, millions, trillions, billions, in the whole universe, so many living entities. But they're all inside me. I am the, playground. Okay. So as the sky, as the wind is inside the sky, the living entities are in me. Okay. And he says, Upadaraya. And Upadara means try to understand. So it is an order. We should try to understand. Actually, Bhagavad Gita is a book for reflection. We should really understand what's communicated here. Not just reading it, not just theoretically understanding it, but actually we should really go deep and we should try to get as much understanding as possible from it. Of course, Prabhupada's purpose help in that. So let's see what Prabhupada says. For the ordinary person, it is almost inconceivable how the huge material creation is resting in him. But the Lord is giving an example which may help us to understand. The sky may be the biggest manifestation we can conceive. And in that sky, the wind or air is the biggest manifestation in the cosmic world. The movement of the air influences the movements of everything. But although the wind is great, it is still situated within the sky. The wind is not beyond the sky. Similarly, all the wonderful cosmic manifestations are existing by the supreme will of God, and all of them are subordinate to that supreme will. As we generally say, not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, everything is moving under His will. By His will, everything is being created, everything being maintained, and everything is being annihilated. Still, He is aloof from everything, as the sky is always aloof from the activities of the wind. So meaning, there's so much going on in this universe, but Krishna is always untouched by it. Even though it's His creation, and even though it's in Him, He's never influenced by anything. He's completely transcendental. And even being transcendental, He controls everything. So He works His powers, and He works on matter, but it's not vice versa. Matter is never touching Him, influencing Him at all, right? At all. In the Upanishads, it is stated, Yad Bisha Vata Bhavate. It is out of the fear of the Supreme Lord that the wind is blowing. Taittiriya Upanishad 2.8.1. In the Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad 3.8.9, it is stated, Etasya va aksharasya prashasane gargi surya chandra masao vitritau. Tishtata etasya va aksharasya prashasane gargi dyav apritivyau vivrititau tishtataha. Amazing. Unfortunately, we don't understand it. So, Prabhupada translated. By the supreme order, under the superintendence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the moon, the sun, and other great planets are moving. In the Brahma Samhita 5:42. Also it is stated, Yat chakshur esha savita sakala grahanam raja samasta suramurti rashesha teja. Yasyagya ya brahmati sambrita kala chakro govindam adi purusham tammahang bhajami. This is a description of the movement of the sun. It is said that the sun is considered to be one of the eyes of the Supreme Lord, and that it has immense potency to diffuse heat and light. Still, it is moving in its prescribed orbit by the order and the supreme will of Govinda. So from the Vedic literature we can find evidence that this material manifestation, which appears to us to be very wonderful and great, is under the complete control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This will be further explained in the later verses of this chapter. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshumilitamina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangung Langayate Grim Yat Kripatamang Bande Shri Gurundina Taranam Shri Chaitanya Manobistam Stapitam Dina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swabanantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Understand that is the sky as the mighty wind blowing everywhere, rests always in the sky. All created beings rest in me. Okay, so, yes, Krishna wants us to understand this point. He wants us to understand how he is the Lord. And he wants the world to understand that also. We need kind of we need a philosophical base for our life. And we live in a very atheistic times, so this has to be established first, that there is a God. Yeah, nobody can serve God or be devotional or bhakti when there is not believing in God. Logic. So in one sense, it's more important to tell these things to the people than details of bhakti. Right? This is very important. This is too high information about intricacies of bhakti, devotional service. So Prabhupada preached in this way, right? You had to really establish the basics. You are not a body. Don't eat meat. Don't, so and all that. So that shows how degraded human society is. Good, so these points are very relevant to understand how, or that the universe, the creation is, the universe is a creation. It's not here by chance or accident. No, this is a creation. It's a product of a creator. And in the creation, the creator can be seen, can be understood. So that makes the creation very interesting. Yeah? We can find many details, or we should wonder, as Prabhupada says in the Bhagavatam, beginning in Bhagavatam, that an intelligent person, considering the creation, looking at all the stars, he's wondering. So we should wonder. Is this the computer? Wow. So, we should wonder. We are not wondering because we are not aware of what's going on. But a Krishna conscious person is always amazed because Krishna is wonderful. He's amazed when he reads about Krishna. He's amazed when he chants Hare Krishna. He's always amazed. He's amazed when he sees Krishna's creation. As Prabhupada says, a devotee, he sees everywhere Krishna. He sees everywhere Krishna's lotus footprints. As in Vrindavan, it said, everywhere Krishna's lotus footprints, right? In Vrindavan, everywhere. So, but they are actually also here. There is always some indication for his majesty. Yeah, and this is science, actually. This is science. This is real science. That if the matter is studied, it leads to a God consciousness. And that not otherwise. So nowadays it's otherwise. The more you study matter, the more atheistic you become. A real scientist not must be an atheist. There are many believing scientists, but a big amount is atheistic. Right? And I would say it's not because of their research. I would say it's more because of the zeitgeist of science. right? There's a certain Zeitgeist. There's actually a German word which is also used in English, Zeitgeist. The mind, the thinking of the time. Zeitgeist. It's a very famous word, right? There's a certain ruling understanding and way how to see things. And in science is quite atheistic, even though science cannot make any claims about the existence of God. Cannot. Per definition, not. If a scientist says there's no God, this is not science. Because it's a philosophical statement. And science is not philosophy. It's two different things. You cannot say, because I'm a scientist, I am an atheist. No. This is not logic. Actually, he's, refuting his position right on the outset. So, but if there is not this influence, if there is a more objective or like a free-thinking science, definitely the alternative or the option of a God is on the table. Definitely. It is not possible to say, okay, we study and God cannot be the source or cannot be a factor in our research. No. Why? Because it cannot be. What is the reason for not having this option, right? So, and there are many scientists who are from another color, and they say, no, we want to see what is that, and if a God or a metaphysical factor could be or is an important information to understand what's going on here, then so be it. Right? It cannot be that there is from the starting point of the research already a cancelling out of an solution, so to say. What science is that? It can, anything can be the answer, but not that. Before having actually done the research. How can you know? But very often this is the trend. This is the Zeitgeist. And it's interesting, there are scientists who come out with another answer, they are getting cancelled. This is also Zeitgeist, it's called cancel culture. Maybe you've heard about this, it's called cancel culture. We live right in a time of cancel culture, especially in the academic field. If you are not online, you are cancelled. What's going on? Actually, there's an interesting movie I saw once. It's called Expelled. The movie is called Expelled. No Intelligence Allowed. Maybe someone saw this movie with, what was his name? Stein? Some American, kind of a conservative person. He made a documentary about evolution theory to find out what's going on in the academic field. And he found many scientists who have like other views on evolution, quite Darwin critical views, and they got cancelled. And got even kicked out from the university and things like that. Because they were finding information which contradict the predominating views. And this is not allowed. It's not allowed. It challenges, their fundamental beliefs. Beliefs, right? Not their proofs. So this is, I don't know, is this Kali Yuga? It's a sign of Kali Yuga. Corruption of truth. This is one of the, because as we know from the scriptures, right, there are 4 pillars of Dharma, right? We have the renunciation, we have the mercy, we have, what else? We have the, in the last, and then, what was it? Cleanliness, so purity, we have, so renunciation, mercy, purity, and then truthfulness, right? And it said, these first 3 legs are already kind of destroyed, right? Kali, he hit the bull, the legs, the 4 legs, especially these 3. They are gone, more or less gone, and it's true. If you look, renunciation is not really a necessary quality of a human being which needs to be there in order to be respectable. Renunciation, right? This is not, who cares? They don't even know what it is. This is nothing you get educated towards. It's not some value. Not really. Okay, if some renounced person, yogi, someone gives donations, something, okay, it's honorable, okay, but it's not really important, right? It's not that when you go to the father and you want to marry his daughter, that he says you're not renounced enough or something, right? Okay. It's not really important. The other one is mercy. Same. Of course, you should be nice. We should be nice to each other. Shouldn't call us names or something like that. But there is a border, and beyond this, mercy is not really important. And especially we see this how we treat animals. And often also how we treat others. Actually, our social conventions are very superficial. Smile you in the face, and in the back I tell everyone what an idiot you are. It's amazing. So this mercy of, nice, all this, it's so superficial. Right? But in behind we are very unmerciful. Okay, so mercy, maybe a little bit more there than pure renunciation, but also not so much. And then we have the purity. Okay, purity. Of course, if you go to the father and say, I want to marry your daughter, and you stink like anything, he might think, why is it stinking so much? Might not be, might be important. But the inner cleanliness, yeah, which is very important. It's like a mental hygiene. Hygiene is very important. Have you brushed your teeth today? Yes? You also? Yes, you also? Has someone not brushed his or her teeth today? I guess you wouldn't admit. So it's actually... I guess everyone did. Probably we took even shower as devotees, right? We do all that stuff, yeah? Keep the body clean, smell nicely, it looks good. Hygiene. But as important is the mental hygiene, inner hygiene. Have you brushed your teeth today? Yes. Have you had a bad thought today? This is inner hygiene, right? And we might have bad thoughts, and we try to get rid of them, yes. But we still have them, right? We don't work enough on it. We don't understand, oh my God, I had a bad thought today, oh my God. We think, oh, okay, it was not so good, but we might think, oh, I haven't brushed my teeth today. But we should have the same, endeavor for hygiene. Okay, purity. External, not so much. Internal, less. So then truth. Because it said truth is the last leg. And we can see that this value is still more prominent. If I know you're not renounced, if I know you're a little bit smelly, if I know you are a little bit, not so merciful, you might, you can walk through this society. But if someone knows that you're a liar, you lie all the time, right? There's some value in the truth. And we have even it's one of the departments of a state, right? The whole law and law enforcement, but also the justice system. Exactly, the whole justice system, which is there to find out, is this true? To really prove the truth, right? But it's also waning. It's not that truth will stand for the rest of the whole Kali Yuga. No, it's just said in the beginning of Kali Yuga, it's very prominent, but slowly it will go away. And we see that. And we see that big time. It's amazing how actually nowadays truth is under attack. And it becomes so irrational that people don't care anymore. This is the worst thing. That we know they are lying, but we somehow say, yeah, but that's it, that's normal, almost. And there will come a time when the lie is the truth. It will come. People will be so brainwashed by the whole propaganda and system that the lie will be the truth. And they don't even recognize it anymore. Yeah. So this is going on, and especially in this in the big questions, as we spoke about, God, evolution, and all that. It's not about truth. Actually, one politician, I heard a recent quote, I don't know when he said it, he was asked, but what about the truth? Someone was reporting. And he said, ich bitte Sie, Sie wissen doch, dass die Wahrheit zum politischen Tod führt. So he was like, how dare you ask me about truth? Don't you know that truth will lead to political death? A huge politician said like that. Bluntly saying, who cares about truth? We are here to keep the position to get lots of money. And truth is in our way. Actually, those who are supposed to keep the truth, find out the truth, work for the truth, for the good of the people, don't care at all. Corruption of truth. Right? So, and especially in this question about God. Actually, this is one of the, this is one of the advantages of the untruth, that truth is not anymore discussed at all. Right? One thing is if there's a discussion about truth, right, and somehow or other, untruth comes out, the lie comes out and wins. That's one, at least there is some comparison, some discussion going on to at least see. It's bad, but it's better than have no discussion on truth at all. And especially about this question of God. About this question, who is discussing? One of the most important questions at all. And they say, yeah, we did that already. We discussed too much already about it. It's gone. Question gone. How to say, who is interested in that? Right? It's over. But it's not over. It's not over at all. So this is a battle for truth, for spiritual truth, for absolute truth. This is one, if not the mission of the Sankirtan movement. At first, of course, the true mission of Sankirtan movement is to chant Hare Krishna, glorify the Lord and make everyone glorify the Lord. But most people cannot glorify the Lord if there is not this philosophical and also scientific base for doing that. Yeah. So that's why Prabhupada wrote also in these ways and said it's very important to fight for this understanding of the existence of God. Right? Very important. And one of the ways to do that is to prove God through the analysis of the material world. Right? There are many approaches how to go into a debate, is there God or not? But one is this, that we take the world, the physical world, and try to find indications, what's the source, what's the reason, what's the Ursprung of this? Why is this world here? Right? And there are different answers. No? One answer might be there is no cause. There's no cause. Right? Huh? Yeah, this comes later. But first, there's no cause. This is already a cause. What you say is already a cause. Popped up by chance, meaning there was some popping up. Right? There's a cause. But there's a theory, also in the Vedas actually. I think it was, I forgot. I think it was from Chaimini. I think he was saying the universe is eternal. It has no cause. Okay, so there is no cause. It's eternal. No beginning. It was always here. So no question about God, cause, whatever. Right? So some say, no, there is a cause. Okay, but what is the cause? Some say no cause, some say there is a cause. And there are different versions of a cause. What can be the cause? The cause could be, yes, okay, it means, meaning it came into be by explosion. Let's say like the explosion is the causation of the universe, but where is it coming from? So some say it's coming from nothing. Seriously. Yeah, it popped up, yes, there's Big Bang, it happened, but where was it banging out? right? What was before the Big Bang? Huh? Nothing. But what kind of nothing is that? Is it nothing like a nothing? Like a real nothing? Or what kind of nothing shall it be? Nothing means nothing in my understanding. So then you can ask, how can from nothing come anything? Right? But some scientists even are arguing like that. It's kind of nothing. Okay, then some might say, no, it was something abstract. So it is something, but nothing you can understand with your understanding, so to say, with your categories. It's completely abstract, 100% abstract, perfectly abstract. Abstract means there's no relation to anything you know. So actually you cannot really understand what it is because it's abstract. Abstract, right? It's something, but nothing to understand. And some say, no, and then we come more also in the Vedas, impersonalism, right? That it was something impersonal, some energy, something like this, caused it. And then there are those, like us, who say, it was something, but not just something, it was someone. It was someone who did it. And then someone should discuss which option is the best. Which option is the best? Why do you believe now that it was someone and not something or nothing or something not understandable? Many options. Why do we say, no, it was Krishna? How do you know? How do you know? Yes, because Krishna says. Strong argument, true. Krishna says. End of discussion. Yes. But it's good if we also understand, especially, why the others cannot be. Why the others cannot be. Especially when you communicate with people who have different beliefs, or if we want to preach. As we know from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he discussed with others and defeated them, defeated their standpoint. And then he defeated his own standpoint from the standpoint of the other one. So I show you how to defeat it with your arguments, so to say. And then he defeated it again to prove his argument. But actually, I'm still true. All right. So, of course, this is a big discussion. Who says what, which party, and what arguments do they have? And it's interesting how they come to their convictions. So, just the first thing is interesting, what I said. There is no beginning. Because this is a strong argument. Because it rules out completely God and any discussion about that. Because if you say the universe has no beginning, there is no need for a God. That's the reason why there's no need for a God, because it has always been. Why not? It's an eternal change inside this universe, in the matter. So, universe, the planetary systems, planets coming, going, forming, disappearing, coming, going. Right? Could be. Yeah. And actually, I recently mentioned this also in a lecture. This was the predominating view also in science until I think it was in 20th or 30s, maybe 40s of the last century. Scientists were believing that. Even Einstein, right? He also was believing that. And then, it's a long story, and I don't have to go into that, but somehow or other, science found some new information that the universe had a beginning. And then Einstein also confirmed that and said, okay. And he said, this was the greatest mistake in my science, that I was holding on to the so-called steady state theory that the universe is eternal. Yeah. So and what was the proof? It was actually the Big Bang theory, so to say. Or the Big Bang theory negated the steady state theory, the Big Bang, which we say is nonsense, it's stupid. True, it is, but to some degree, from one point of view, it's good. It's good for us, because then suddenly also in the science and philosophy, God was somehow or other still on the margin, but still a little bit, had already again one foot in the door, so to say. And from there it expanded, that now many scientists, not so many, but some, really say, okay, we can discuss this again. Because there it was out already. God, this is like old stuff. Who is interested in that? Proved it. No need for that. Yeah. So, and just my point, why I would say, could be an argument why there is a personal God, not just an abstract or nothingness or impersonal, but why is a personal God? I would say, actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita it said there are three, I think I recently spoke about that, there are three qualities or factors or qualities the cause must have in order to produce a universe. There are three things the cause, the origin must have in order that this universe can actually be. And it's called jnana, bala, and icha. Jnana, bala, icha. Yeah. Or some said jnana, kriya, icha. Yeah. So let's start with the first. The first is bala. Bala or kriya, it means bala means strength. Right? This mysterious origin about whom we don't know what it is, it must have certain strength or energy, power to work on the matter. Let's say like this, there must be matter, right? There must be matter. So this source must be able to produce matter. But matter alone doesn't do anything. This is like the argument. Matter alone doesn't do anything. You need more that matter kind of works. Okay. So what does the matter need? It needs strength. Some movement, right? Some influence must be there. Some energy which works on it. That it gets formed. That it gets designed. Right? Like take a pile of bricks. Right? So you have to have strength to lift them, to put it together into a house. Okay, so first is that bala, or kriya. Strength must be there. Okay. Then second is called jnana. Jnana means knowledge. Meaning, this God or source must know how to arrange with his strength the bricks that this house will be built. If there's no knowledge, no information, the word information comes actually from Latin, informare, means to put into shape. In Form bringen, formen. So information is that what shapes our mind. In that sense, yeah? Because information is something subtle. And this, by the way, just a little side note, there's an interesting discussion that in the DNA, which is this double helix, the genes, or the genes are just some sequences in the DNA, but you have the whole genome. Every human has a whole genome, is meaning all the stuff in the DNA, but this is actually information. It's very interesting, it's actually information. Yeah, so this combination of the T's and C's and G's and whatever it is, yeah. These four things, right? And actually it's in code, right? If you know that. It's in code inside the DNA. It's a code. Because the DNA is not any, of course it's physical, but what it does, shortly spoken, it's like a book. And when the body wants to build something, because our body is built out of proteins, which are built out of amino acids, and if the body needs a hair or blood or whatever, bones, whatever, they're all built out of proteins. But these proteins there are different kinds of proteins, but they are built together in a certain way that it becomes bone, that it becomes tissue, that it becomes hair, whatever, right? As a certain order of the proteins. It's like Lego part. Yeah? Okay. So when the body needs to produce a hair which has a certain arrangement of protein, there are small machines. It's really, do you know that? You know that. Do you know that? I spoke so often about it, but anyway. Do you know that? You know that? You know that. You know that? About the machines? You know? Okay, good. You know that? You're studying medicine. the machine which goes into your DNA.
I lost you about the machine. I knew everything until the machine.
Okay, I start with the machine. That is really powerful. This is so crazy. Okay, I tell you. That's not just one machine. There are many machines. Right? There are many machines inside your body, especially inside the cells. Inside the cells, we have many, many, many cells. What is in the center of the cell? What is in the center of the cell? Nucleus, yes. What is there inside, in the core? Yeah, the DNA. There's DNA, exactly. There's the DNA. So DNA is in the center, right? You can correct me if I say something wrong. She also, okay. Oh.
Neuroscience.
Neuroscience, perfect. You are very good. Wonderful. Thank you. That's that you studied. That's great. So please correct me if I say nonsense, yeah? Not just because I sit here that everything is perfect. So, but I make it very, very simple. So there are some machines which go inside the nucleus to the DNA. And this machine knows where, because DNA is actually very strong, long in this relation, and it knows where to go to the DNA to find the information how to build the hair. Easy spoken. It knows where to go. This is like a book. It knows where, which side. It knows. And there it duplicates this part of the DNA, a gene, right? Genes, this is the sequence. It duplicates this. It's called the messenger RNA. The messenger RNA is a copy of the DNA, right? You correct me if I'm wrong. Yes. So it goes, it's just a copy. It means that the machine, if I'm the machine, I want to know how this works. I go to this purport, to this part, and I copy it. I photograph it or whatever. I make a copy. And then I go with this copy, which is actually an instruction how to build now this stuff. And there's another machine, right, that gives this information to the other. And they take this information and according to this information build this protein, which is where the hair grows, how the hair grows. It's super, super, super simple, of course. There are many other informations, and this happens over and over again, millions of times, all the time in our body. It's like, they say it's more complicated than a huge city, what's happening in one cell in your body. All the time, going in, out, taking the information, building this, building that, hair is growing, nails are growing, right? Inside your body, the body parts are always changing. Every so and so many days, you have a new darm and a new liver and all that. We're changing all the time. It's crazy what's going on inside of our body. And actually, there was one scientist. His name was Michael? Steve? Someone knows? And he said he was the greatest atheist of all time. I don't tell you more about him, but and he's old. He was old, actually died. And then they didn't have all this information about what's going on in the cell and all that. And when this research came out, he became a theist. He gave up his atheism and said, whoa, this is too strong of a proof. And then he wrote a book, that the biggest atheist became a theist. Why I believe in God or something. It's a very interesting book. So back to our thing. Gyan, knowledge. The God, the source must have knowledge how to put these bricks together. Right? How to put these bricks together. Okay, this is Gyan. And the last, and I think this is the most important in our discussion, especially if God is personal or impersonal, Icha. It's Icha. Who knows what means Icha? Huh? Desire. Yeah, desire. It means desire. Will. I have the strength to use these bricks and build a house. I know how to build this house, but I don't want. It will never happen. Yeah? So in this verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, it said, Icha is this will. He must have to want to do it. And will is only personal. Something impersonal has no will. Yeah? If there is no will, there can happen, nothing will happen. Will is more or less the first cause in the whole chain of causes, of the whole chain reaction of causes. Will is the first thing. There's even a huge book by one of the greatest philosophers, Schopenhauer, Arthur Schopenhauer. And this book is called, what is it again? His main book, Die Welt und der Wille or something like this, the world and the will or something. And he, through his whole philosophy, and Arthur Schopenhauer, you know, he looks really fried all the time. He was actually really fried with women, so he was really fried because he was, yeah. But he wrote this huge book, and his conclusion was, will is everything. Interesting. He came to something impersonal in the end, but still, will was his foundation of everything. Yeah. So anyway, but the point is this will, and I would say everyone who is like a little bit philosophical, he should work this out, because I guess this can be a very interesting argument to say will, which is first, will is necessary for creation, and will is personal. Only a person has will. Something, because I would say person is an conscious, self-conscious individual entity which has will. Will is foundational. It's only in a person. It's a personal quality, will. Because what does will mean? It means I want. This will is this wanting, dynamic drive of a person that something happens. And yeah, every one of us has a will. Everyone has a will. Ours is, of course, very corrupted, materially corrupted. And Krishna has an absolute will. Whatever he wants, he can do. Whatever he wants, it's happening. Absolute will. Whatever he wants, it will be. As Prabhu says in Bhagavad Gita, that sein Entschluss ist eine Tatsache. Right? His decision is a fact. Whatever he wants, it is. Whatever. Powerful. We don't have that. We don't have that. Actually, we have it also. Actually, we have it, but it's corrupted. Meaning, we don't have the power of our will or our free will right now. We don't have it. Because we are in Maya. And when we get liberated, it's not that we have absolute will. We are not like Krishna. But our will is very powerful. As I said, whatever, the will is the first point in whatever happens. Right? So meaning, if we liberate our will, and we know what we want and want the right thing, it will happen. It will come true. But right now it's so corrupted because it's Krishna unconscious and it's bound by time and space and limited. We only want what? Oh, I want some sabji. Oh, I want some cheese. Please, what cheese? Yeah. We think only in such little terms. Oh, I want, what do I want? I want a wife. I want a child. Oh, I want a beard. Or I want no beard. Yeah. We have stupid desires. Stupid will. Super stupid will. Because if you understand, whatever I will, it will happen. Because Krishna fulfills my desires. We would have different desires. We should have. Well, our desire should be, I want to love Krishna. And guess what? It will come true if you really want it. If you really want it. And just 1 minute and I'm ending. Proof for that is a devotee. His name is Mahotsaha. Who has heard about Mahotsaha? Have you heard about Mahotsaha? Should. Nobody has heard about Mahotsaha. I think last week or 2 weeks ago he made a new book distribution world record. Yes. He distributed, you heard it? Yeah, more than 1,400. Yeah, a little bit more than 1,400 books on one day. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? What? Yeah, because why are you laughing? Because you don't believe it. It's unreal. Because you believe you cannot do it. That's why you laugh. My God, how is this possible? And why do you think you cannot do it? Oh, I want a beard. Because we have corrupted will. Yeah, we think we want stupid things. We don't understand that Krishna can fulfill all my desires. And he doesn't have that. I read today a short interview where he said, I always wanted it. When I started book distribution, I heard about Ananda, his record of 940 books, and I thought, I want to distribute more. And he worked on it, and he did it. Only because he had this will, right? And the belief, I can do it. I can do it, right? And it's true, you can do it also. You can do it tomorrow if you have this will. Yes. Yeah. And because why? Because Krishna fulfills, Krishna corresponds, Krishna responds, right? And so we can do anything, whatever we like. So we shouldn't have these stupid small desires. Yeah, we should have wonderful spiritual desires for Krishna, do wonderful things. We can do anything, really anything. But our will is so corrupt, it's a nonsense, right? Because we don't believe in Krishna, we don't understand what he can do. Yeah. So with this I want to end, right? So this will as being the necessary quality of anything to happen, including this creation, yeah, and it's personal, meaning there's a personal God, and we as parts of a personal God are similar to him. As Prabhupada said, we are small Krishnas, small Krishnas. We have also a will, and this is Krishna consciousness, that our will becomes the same like Krishna's will, right? We have to have, this is Krishna consciousness, that we have the same will. We should want what Krishna wants. That is Krishna consciousness. There we should be one in this desire. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your attention. Anything you want to add? Yes?
Just to the last point about the will, I remember like many years ago I got to know some people who were doing some like witchcraft and so on, and it was all only about the will, like what do you desire, and if you truly believe it, then it happens. Like, driving and coming from a far distance, and you see that the red light.
Yes. I also think, okay, Krishna, or will drive my car, whatever, it's. I think if you really, really have it, it will work. Yeah, maybe, yeah. Yeah.
Brahmins used to do it like this, right? They used to curse when, like, what's the name of the kid? Rishi or
yeah.
Shri?
When Prabhupada told the new devotees that, what was it? That he couldn't drive a car or something, or how was the story? I forgot. Anyway, because these young devotees, they thought that Prabhupada was driving the cars with his willpower. But he meant, no, he had a chauffeur. Something like this. And, wow, Prabhupada is amazing, In India, he drove the cars like this. And what he meant, no, I was not driving, but he was driving because I had a chauffeur. Yeah, anyway. But in general, really, it's true. And I saw this also on book distribution. And in general, in my life, in many things, it's true. We have to, whatever we want, actually, it comes true. And sometimes we should not, sometimes some things come true which we then don't want anymore. Yeah, it's like die Geister, die ich rief, werde ich nicht mehr los. As Goethe said, huh? Oh. Okay, anything else? Yes?
I've taken care of my mother for 2 years after her stroke and until she passed away. And before that we had quite some discussions about taking birth again. And she like very, very harshly was screaming through the whole house, and I don't want to take birth again. And it was fulfilled. For sure. She was so purified by listening to the holy name for 2 years. All the Christian prayers have been deleted. She was totally happy at the end. No desires, no anger anymore. I want it.
Yeah, we should be very determined.
She had a very strong desire. She was listening really attentively for 2 years, day and night.
Yeah, especially it becomes closer to the death. When someone is intelligent, he becomes very serious actually about life. So it's the reason why we should consider our death. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much for your kind attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai, Gaur Premanande. Srila Prabhupada ki